Welcome to this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. What we'll be doing today is going through a sequence of practices, short periods of each, as samplers. So you get to know the practice and understand the sequence, and then you can do these practices on your own and extend the period of time for whatever works for you, as long as you would like. It's often good, and the tradition I was trained in, to do short sessions and then kind of take a moment of break, refresh yourself, and then start again. And so we'll do that in between each session. Just a few seconds. Now, hang on one second. What I need to do. There we go. So I wanted to mention a couple of things first, a couple of topics. And one of them, as we practice, one of the things that we do is we become aware of our thought process. Very often we're completely caught up in our thought process, but this practice gives us some perspective on that. While we're practicing, we create a bigger environment around our thoughts so that we realize that we have thoughts, but we are not our thoughts. Thoughts are one of the things that are going on in our mind, but we also have all the other perceptions and a general sense of awareness. And it's that general sense of awareness that's really more the nature of our mind, that has no shape, no color, no size, but takes on the shape, color, and size of the contents that arise within that awareness. That's the perspective that it's important to understand. Now, usually when we get caught up in thoughts as we speed through our everyday life, it's the analogy a friend told me. It said it's like a parade. When you're just in awareness and noticing what you're thinking, it's like you're watching a parade. But then when you're in the parade, that's all that's going on. So one of my teachers said, it's important to be aware if your mind is taking the shape of your thoughts. And if your mind takes the shape of your thoughts, that's all there is. But when your mind is bigger than your thoughts and they're arising within your thoughts, within your mind, then you have some perspective on your own thought process. So one of the things that we can notice in our thought process that I wanted to mention today is the effect of two different perspectives on our experience. And they are represented by two different words, want and need. So I want this to happen is a positive intention. It is involved with desire, but it's a somewhat contained desire. Need, I need this to happen, immediately creates a whole feeling of tension in the body. Because I need this to happen has an unspoken sentence afterwards. Now, I want this to happen could have an unspoken sentence. I want this to happen. If it doesn't, I'll be disappointed. I need this to happen has the unspoken sentence. If it doesn't, I might cease to exist. And that's a rather bigger implication than being slightly disappointed. So you can understand why being slightly, the anticipation of maybe being slightly disappointed doesn't create a huge amount of tension and pressure on yourself. I need this to happen does create that tension and pressure on yourself. And the I need this, that pressure and tension that happens actually is a self-fulfilling, it it actually creates the opposite of what we want. Needing this to happen, we get in our own way. Wanting this to happen, we don't necessarily get in our own way. So just be aware as you go through your day, if as you're encountering things, and as we go through our meditation, as thoughts arise, is it a thought of wanting something or a thought of needing something? And ultimately, being content with however things are, and not necessarily saying, certainly not needing, but simply in a very light way, wanting this to happen. And as we go through our practice, wanting it for bigger and bigger and bigger purposes, ultimately wanting it for the benefit of others, for the whole world. So that's the sequence that we'll go through. Okay, so to start with, it's helpful to take a good posture. And I'm going to go through the posture with you. You can have your eyes open or closed as you're setting your posture. It's up to you. And you want to feel your seat and feel your sit bones, the two sit bones where your legs come into your hips, pressing into the cushion. And feel the weight. Try to make them even so you don't have one leaning one side or the other. And we want to sit upright but not rigid. Feel that your back is straight, but also extend that and include, I'll turn to the side, all the way up to the back of the top of your head. So that the back of your head is a straight extension of your spine. So you're not tilted back with your chin up in the air. We get kind of spaced out when that happens. And you're not tilted forward with your chin down. We get kind of sleepy when that happens. So the back extended. So you're upright and not rigid. You're not holding too much tension, just enough for that uprightness. And you can tilt slightly side to side and forward and back to find a centered uprightness. Now, where your legs are, if you're in a chair, you can have them flat on the floor, about hip width apart, feet straight under your knees. And if you have long legs and your knees are higher than your hips, it puts a little strain on your lower back. So you can gently cross your legs in front of you at the ankles, again, so that your feet are the same distance away from you as your knees. Then your arms hang straight down from your sides. Leave your elbows where they are and just swivel your hands onto your thighs, palms down on your thighs. This way your arms are hanging straight down so you're not pulling your shoulders forward or pulling them back with your arms. Now this is what I find a really helpful point of practice. Your sternum, your breastbone, goes from a little notch up here to a little notch at the at the bottom of your rib cage, there, where it meets the end of your rib cage. And so that space in there, a little below the middle of that, right where that button is on your shirt, is a little tender spot on your sternum. Feel that that goes slightly up and slightly forward, like a 45-degree angle, just a tiny bit, quarter of an inch, just like that, up and forward. I could even feel right then my breath opening up. My chest opens up, breath comes in more fully. Just that little move from here, your shoulders go back a little bit, your shoulder blades go back a little bit, your sit bones push into the seat a little more. If you maintain that uprightness, your chin comes in a little bit. It really creates a lot of the good aspects of your posture. That spot right there, just up and forward just a tiny bit. Breathe through your nose as best you can. It's okay if a little of the air comes out through your mouth, but you want to breathe entirely in through your nose as best you can. Your jaw is relaxed but not hanging open, so your lips are either just slightly parted or just lightly touching. And now you can let your eyes gently close. We'll scan our body from head to toe, aware of any tension. And when you become aware of any tension that you don't need to hold your posture, you basically want to feel like your spine is like a tent pole and the rest of your body is hanging loosely from that tent pole, like the canvas before it's pulled out into a tent. So your scalp, eyes, cheekbones, ears, and jaw. If you are aware of that tension, just let it soften, let it melt as much as it will, as if it's going to just flow down and out of you and into the earth. Aware of your neck and shoulders. We have a lot of tension there, so much work on our computers. Just let your shoulders hang. Chest, use only the tension you need to hold your posture, that upward movement of opening of your chest. Upper arms, shoulders, shoulder blades, and upper back. Rib cage all around. Stomach, lower back, and deep belly. The whole pelvic region. Sometimes we're clenching our deep belly and pelvic region more than we realize. Just let them soften without losing your posture. Hips, thighs, forearms, and hands. Knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Be aware of your feet, your ankles, calves, knees, legs. Feel your legs. Now that we've swept away the unnecessary tension, we want to really get out of our head and into our body. Really feel your legs, hips, torso, shoulders, arms, and head, all connected. Let your awareness drop down and rest in the deep core of your torso. Traditionally, it's a few inches below your navel, just in front of your spine. Let your awareness find that place. We have depth. Our torso, we're not two-dimensional beings. There's a front and a back and a thickness to our torso. A depth front to back as well as width side to side and height up and down. Feel that expand and contract as the breath comes in and goes out. although it's your lungs that are filling, as the diaphragm pushes down, it feels like your deep belly is filling as you breathe in and emptying as you breathe out. That's the expanding and contracting. Let your awareness rest there. Now gently open your eyes about halfway so that your gaze is about 45 degrees down, just a few feet in front of you, looking under your eyelids. Aware of the space that your body is sitting in. Maintain your awareness of the feeling of filling and emptying as the breath goes in and out. Awareness of your posture, all happening within that space that you're sitting in. And that's our practice for the next couple of minutes. Awareness of filling as the breath comes in, emptying as the breath goes out. Let the breath be natural. You're just observing rather than controlling. And if your mind wanders off into a series of thoughts, off into the parade of thoughts, when you realize that at that moment, you've stepped out of it. You're already back in the here and now. Just return your awareness to the filling and emptying as the breath goes in and out. If you've gotten sleepy and your eyes have closed and you've slumped down a little bit, just open your eyes a little wider, look out a little further. Raise your chest, reinvigorate your posture, and continue. And as the gong fades, just relax everything. Let go. Let go of trying. Take a moment, a fresh start. Now, reinvigorate your posture. Get yourself set up. And let your eyes, once you've taken that good posture, your eyes have a natural direction that they're looking in. It's out, but not looking up. Probably slightly below the horizon. But out into awareness of the space in the room. Soften your gaze, open it up. So you open your peripheral vision, side to side, top to bottom. That's the atmosphere, the whole space that you're sitting in. For this practice, we pay particular attention to the breath going out. It's as if you're riding the breath out. Your awareness is riding the breath out. And your breath goes actually out into the air in the room and mixes with it, and diffuses, dissolves, it becomes one with the air in the room. In the same way as your breath goes out, let your awareness go out and open up and mix with the space around you, in front, to the sides, all around. Out, open, and then just rest in that openness and let the body breathe in by itself. You're aware of the breath coming in as part of your awareness, but you don't have to follow it in. Then out, open, and rest. Out, open, and rest. Again, if your mind wanders off into thoughts of the past, future, or elsewhere in the present, and you get caught up in a series of thoughts, there'll be a gap. You'll wake up from that daydream, and at that moment, you're already back. Just reconnect with your posture, and go out with the next out breath, out, open, and rest. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. Take a moment to refresh, move a little bit. Resume your posture, but look straight ahead, out to the horizon. Again, open up your peripheral vision and just notice colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark. All of your visual perception. You don't move your eyes around, just open your awareness. Let your awareness explore your field of vision. Colors, shapes, shades of light and dark. Open your hearing for sounds in all directions. Notice if they're near or far. Loud or soft, high-pitched or low. Notice any bodily sensations you're feeling. Sit bones pressing into the seat, feet on the floor, cloth or skin under your hands. Cool, dry air coming in your nostrils, warm, moist air going out. You might even feel your pulse, your heartbeat. There may be smells that you recognize. Maybe even tastes. If you had coffee or tea, something to eat just before we practiced. Now let your awareness move as it will through your sense perceptions. If your awareness rests on vision, notice sound, notice what you're seeing. On hearing, notice what you're hearing. Notice your body. Now notice if you had thoughts about what you were seeing, hearing, or feeling, or smelling. Like, dislike, or neutral. Open your mind the way you did your vision to notice whatever thoughts are arising. You're having thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. Watch as thoughts appear, dwell for a moment, and disappear. And relax. Reinvigorate your posture. And now we'll switch gears a little bit. And this is a contemplation practice, the compassion practice. I'll guide you through it. And now again, you can do this with your eyes open, looking straight ahead, or with your eyes closed, whichever is more comfortable for you. Imagine that your awareness opens out as if you're looking at the night sky, the clear night sky. And as you breathe out, imagine your awareness extends out to the stars in all directions. Breathe out and extend out farther. Vast awareness, open in all directions, out beyond the farthest star. And rest for a moment in that infinite openness. And from that openness, bring to mind a loved one, someone you care about so much that if they're feeling pain, you'd rather you had it than they did. Like a mother and her child. And because of that compassionate feeling, wishing them to be free from their suffering, that you'd rather take their suffering on than them feel it. Imagine that as you breathe in, you can absorb their suffering into your heart. Feel your heart center, open it up again. Raise it up and open it up. And that heart of compassion that we all possess has infinite capacity to absorb and transform that energy, the energy of suffering, into kindness. So, like an air conditioner, you breathe in that hot, heavy quality of suffering and radiate out the cool moonlight, kindness and relief. Your loved one is there in front of you in your imagination. Take away their suffering from them. Send them peace, health, happiness, contentment. Your heart of compassion is a vast open space of positive energy. Limitless capacity to absorb, limitless potential to radiate out positive energy of kindness, caring. Reflect on your own feelings of physical or mental pain, struggle, anxiety, anguish. And practice self-compassion. As you breathe in, gather from yourself all the negative feelings you have. Blame, guilt, anxiety, fear. Absorb them in your heart of compassion and radiate out to yourself peace, contentment, courage. Now, any happiness you feel about being able to have compassion for yourself and for a loved one, extend that out. Breathe out and send out that energy of kindness and caring to everyone you've ever met. As you breathe in, take away their struggle and suffering. Send out kindness and caring. All beings share in that wanting to be happy, wanting to be free from suffering. And as best you can, extend that out to all beings, all living beings, humans, animals, that all have that same basic motive, wanting happiness, wanting freedom from suffering. Suffering in human beings comes from negative emotions like hatred, fear, ignorance, greed, jealousy. Imagine you can breathe all of those negative emotions in, like it's not air pollution, but it's mental pollution. You can imagine like a cloud of dark smoke. You breathe it in from the whole world into your heart of compassion, and it transforms and radiates out cool, clean air of understanding, contentment, acceptance, caring, and kindness. And as the gong fades, just go back for a moment to your eyes just barely opened, aware of your body sitting in the space, feeling your breath filling and emptying, expanding and contracting. Thank you for your practice. And now, as a further inspiration, let's dedicate the benefit of our practice to all beings, to others. When we share, it's more for everyone. We benefit from it, they benefit from it. So you can repeat after me or put it in your own words. May the practice we have just done be of benefit to others, even more so than to ourselves. And that's true generosity. So thank you for your participation in this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.